Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is a free book haul. Yes, every book in this video was a free book. Hello, I am Peter the Book Lover, and I want to thank you for coming by. I like to read books, and I like to share poetry, and I want to thank you all for coming by. Before we get into the video, I want to thank everybody from the past that gave me a like. I want to give a like to everybody that gave me a like in the future. And I also want to give a like to all the people that are not giving a like to this video. Thank you for being here. Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about a bunch of free books that I got over about a 1.5 year period. Now, I've known of these things for about years now, but I always look into these things, but I never take the books because at the time I was able to afford the thrift store. So instead of taking the books, I would always just go to the thrift store and buy my own books, and I left those for charity. But now I'm in a situation to where I can't afford the thrift store anymore. So the way that I get new books is from these book boxes. They're fantastic. They're all around the city, and a lot of times they have really interesting books in there. And this is off of many, many days of, because I go on a lot of errands. There's a lot of trips that I go on. And I came across all these books, and some of these books are really incredible. Okay, so let's get into the video. Okay, the first book that I'm going to show you is a review that I did. I've read this, and I did a review of this. This is First Blood. This was great. I love this book. I am very happy that I got this. And believe it or not, for free. This was incredible. Okay, now we're going to talk about Agatha Christie. The Witness for the Prosecution. A Pocket Full of Rye. The Boomerang Clue. 3 in 1. Murder on Mesopotamia. Death on the Nile. An Appointment with Death. Next up that I got. Here's something I got for free that I read. This is Live and Let Die by I.M. Fleming, and this is an incredible novel. I enjoyed this a lot. This was one of my favorites until I ran into First Blood. Before we go on, more Agatha Christie. This is Murder at the Vicarage, Peril at the End House. I have read Atlas Shrugged, and I thought that was a great book. This is Anthem by Ayn Rand, and Ayn Rand. I can't wait to read this. This is the first book that I've taken from the free book boxes, and this is The Natural. This is a story about an incredible baseball player. I'm looking forward to reading this. I'm surprised I haven't got to this already. The Color Purple. This is by Alice Walker. This is a story about a black woman dealing with an abusive husband, I believe. I did not like the movie, but I'm looking forward to reading the book because I hear this is a classic. A book about Gandhi. I would be interested in finding out what there is to know about Gandhi. Barabbas. This is a guy that was about to be crucified, but instead they crucified Jesus Christ. And this is the story of Barabbas. This is really interesting. This is the Diary of Anne Frank. And this is a classic that I really wanted to get my hands on for a long time. I was very happy when I seen this in the book box. Awesome, right? This is Wuthering Heights. This I've read already, not this copy, but I plan on reading this copy when I read this book again. In my opinion, this book is a book that you want to read twice because you're a little confused when you first read this book and you're like wondering what what's this and what's that, and a lot of the stuff that you're looking at really is not what the story is about. Interesting book, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This is A People's History of the United States. This looks pretty interesting. Beloved by Toni Morrison. This is something that I'm very excited about. I hear this is a really fantastic novel. I hear it's outstanding. I haven't read it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Insomnia. Are you having trouble sleeping? Here's a Stephen King story about that problem. Next up, we have Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I'm not familiar with the TV show, and I haven't read too much Star Trek, but this looks pretty interesting. The Missing. Okay, this is Charlie Pratchett, and this is called Small Gods. This looks like it's pretty cool. I do not know. This looks like it's very simple to read. I'm looking forward to giving this a shot. Little Dorrit. This is a Charles Dickens novel that I have not read yet. Our Mutual Friend is another Dickens novel that I have not read yet. Airframe by Michael Crichton. I've read both Jurassic Park novels and they were incredible. I'm pretty sure this is going to be great. A Case of Need by Michael Crichton. Rising Sun by Michael Crichton. Apparently this looks like a pretty cool novel. This is set in Japan. I'm looking forward to this. Shakespeare, As You Like It. Hamlet. Believe it or not, I'm not familiar with Hamlet, but I really love Romeo and Juliet. I'm looking forward to reading Hamlet. Herzog by Sal Bellow. And I also got The Adventures of Aggie March by Sam Bellow. The Yearling. This is a story about a young deer making it in the wild. Looks interesting. I really love the book Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. And I love animal books, so I should really like this. The Yearling by Marjorie Kennan Rawlings. This is a Leo Tolstoy book. I've read War and Peace, and this is Anna Karenina. This, I hear, is even better than War and Peace. I haven't gave it a shot, though. I plan on it. The Anthills of Savannah. I cannot not pronounce this author's name, but this author wrote a different book called Things Fall Apart. And I own that book, and I haven't got to it, but I hear that's on a lot of people's lists. And it's Chinua Achebe, I think his name is. I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to reading this. This is Ibel, or Cubel, or I'm not sure how you pronounce this person's name. As I read this book, I'm going to look up how you pronounce it. But this is a book about a young man that's sold into slavery at a carpet factory. So he's a slave and he makes carpets, and it looks pretty interesting. Okay, we come to a book that I've read the exact copy right here. This was a very good book, very good copy to read. I really enjoyed reading this copy. Very interesting book, The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo. I loved it. There are really good height scenes in this book, and I really loved them. And Quasimodo is a very amazing character. I really like that character a lot. Okay, now we're going to get into a couple comics. We got The Watchmen. Believe it or not, this was free. It blew my mind. I actually felt guilty of taking this because you're not supposed to get things this good for free, but this was free. Oh, something that's coming up, a couple more books. It's even more incredible. Okay, this is a cartoonist guide to physics, and I'm going to love to learn about physics through this comic book, and I think that I'm going to be able to understand it pretty clearly using this comic book to learn about physics. I know a little bit about it, but I don't remember taking a class of physics. This is a Transformers comic book that I'm looking forward to reading. An Indiana Jones hardcover comic book. The Tomb of the Gods. Looks pretty interesting. I can learn how to draw Indiana Jones. Okay, the next thing up is The Complete Works of Plato. This is something classic. The Divine Comedy by Dante. This is a classic. I'm going to get into this later. This is a collection of short stories by Thomas King. I've never heard of Thomas King. I've never read anything by Thomas King. But this looks like a short book. And it's a nice looking book. I like the wolf on the cover, so I'm going to check this out. This was in there, and this is like a monthly poetry like magazine. I looked through it though, and I can't figure out a way to where you could send them poetry to see if they could publish this in this. I would like to contact these people, but it really doesn't have proper information on how to contact these people. This is a $3.75 book in the United States, $5 in Canada, and $3 in the UK. I do not know where they print this. I've looked through this, yeah, and I read a couple of the poems in here, and they're all right. This isn't really just poetry. There's a lot of other things in this book, but I'd love to send some of my poetry to these people and see if it gets printed in this magazine. Okay, this is something that I've really enjoyed. This is one of the books that I got out of the book box for free that I spent a lot of time with. This is a collection of poetry. This has got a lot of great poems in here. It's got the Rime of the Ancient Mariner in here. It's got Annabel Lee. This has got some Tennyson in here. It's got Shakespeare. The Seven Ages of Man, I got it from this book. If I got it from a different book. But yeah, this has got a lot of great poetry in this book. It's missing the Raven, but it's got the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, which is one of my favorites. Okay, and we're coming up to the end of this. Okay, now, there's a lot of Star Wars that I seen in there that I did not take, but there was just a couple Star Wars things that I said, you know what, I've got to have it. This is one of them. This is Before the Awakening. This is a story set right before The Force Awakens. Looks pretty cool. And then this is something that I can't believe. The fact that I've got this for free is incredible. It's wonderful. This has all 3 Star Wars novels in one book. As a matter of fact, this is what I plan on reading this May. I can't wait to get into it. Okay, that's the video. I want to thank everybody that's coming by. Like I said before, all the people in the past that gave me a like, I want to say thank you. All the people that's going to give me a like in the future, I want to thank you in the future. And all the people that are not going to give me a like, I want to give you a like, because I'm very thankful that you're here. It's my little saying, my catchphrase, I guess. I'm trying to come up with stuff. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I'm learning a couple things. I'm connecting with the audience a little bit more, so it's wonderful. That's why I'm here. I like talking to a lot of the people that I've been talking to. You guys have been really cool. Some of these people are mentioned right here, and I wouldn't mind if you check those people out. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you sometime in the future. See you next time.